right. Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here today on the Lotro stream channel. We are running around in Lord of the Rings Online, as you see around me. So one of the things I like to do on Heart of a Hobbit, which is my show here on the channel, is to take people around different things that are happening within Middle-earth. A lot of the events. I enjoy all the different things that are happening, all the kind of social fun things on the side. So we have the Spring Festival is coming up, but it has not started yet. The Spring Festival doesn't start until Thursday, and today is Tuesday, so we have 2 more days, to wait. So while we are waiting impatiently, we are going to go and do some questing. So let's see. I'm looking for Affodil. Awesome. I see Affodil is online. So we're going to go running around together in an area that is one of the newer areas of Lord of the Rings Online. So they've recently opened up these 2 areas down here called Swanfleet and Cardolan, and it relates to some of the time. Those areas, the history of those areas happens back in like the Second Age, maybe early Third Age stuff, when there was the kingdom of Arnor, and when the king who was in charge of that died, it broke into 3 pieces because there were 3 sons, and so we've been questing in the area and learning more about that history, especially in Cardolan, because Cardolan was one of the 3 pieces. So we are going to head over to, let's see, where are we questing at this time? We are, where are we going? Oh, we're up near Sarch Vorn. Sarch Vorn. Sarch Vorn? I'm still learning the names of the places. Oh, I might actually have my campsite set there. So let me see, where do I have my campsite set? I moved my buttons around recently. It's over here now. Eisendale. I wonder where that is. Well, let's find out. By the Eisen. So probably not near here. No, that's true. Wait. Between real life rivers that are nearby here and then rivers of of Lotro, I'm like, wait a minute, the Eisen. I know this word. All right, down by Rohan. Where's the Eisen? Because it goes into Isengard, probably. There's the Eisen. Okay. Oh yeah, my campfire is over here where we're questing in our main stuff. Hey, there's an Affodil. Hello. I wave at you. All right, so I guess I won't take us to Isengard, but I can take us. Yes, we live near the Isel, not the Eisen. So you can see my confusion. We live near the Isel and. What's the other one? Rhine and the Rhine. We live near the Isel and the Rhine. Okay. Anyway, a little geography there. Side note. Let's see. I can take us to the one that looks like a mushroom. Should we go to Herne? So, Affodil says, fun fact, Cardolan was founded in the 3rd Age. Okay, 3rd Age. 861. Well, there we are. Boy, look at that scary looking stuff. So, yeah, we've been out here questing about in Cardolan, and we've just gotten into a series of quests where they're like, go to this location and read these notes that this ranger wrote to learn more about this story that the ranger wrote down. So we learned all sorts of stuff about how, like, the king, or he called himself a prince, was off helping with one part, and while he was gone, there was a feint, and they came around and they destroyed his whole family, and it was pretty tragic. But we, I think, have finished with that main part, and because we're now being sent off to find the old forest, and so yeah, Sarch Vorn. That sounds good. Let's go to Sarch Vorn. I like it.
Greetings, friend.
It's a good call. Yeah, so we have a handful of things that we're doing in the area. We've got our Before the Shadow. So the epic book line originally when Lotro, came out, they basically said, hey, let's take the characters that you're playing, and just like Lord of the Rings are books, you are in books, right? And so let me see, let me go to my completed stuff. So as a new character, there was a prologue, and I went ahead and did that. And then I went into Epic Book Volume 1, and there was, books 1 through 15 in Volume 1. And so, you are questing through each one of those. So like Book 1, Volume 1, Book 1 had all these different chapters that you would go through. So it's kind of cool. So it's like, yeah, you're a character in a book and you're walking your way through the story, right? So I think that's really clever. So when they opened up this new area, Shadowfax, the other one, Swanfleet and Cardolan, which they opened at the same time, they called this whole area Before the Shadow because chronologically the stuff that we're going through happens before you get into the other areas of Lotro, which are north of us. So it's the timeline when Boromir has left Gondor, and he's working his way north to try and find Rivendell because of these strange dreams or prophetic dreams that they're having, and to go and find out some more information. So where we are is taking place more in that time frame of the Lord of the Rings books. So they created a new book line for this area because you can use this as your first book, basically, instead of doing the stuff where you go through, let me zoom out again here a little bit. So instead of like starting in, say, Eredluin or the Shire or in Breeland, and then continuing from there into the Lone Lands, you do stuff at Weathertop, continuing along into the Trollshaws, going to Rivendell. Somewhere along there, the story that we're in will combine and line up with that again. But we're doing stuff that's like level 28, and see, this one's level 25. So we're definitely doing stuff that was, I think, the Lone Lands. There's this really cool map out there that somebody has put together where they took all the different pieces of Lord of the Rings Online and marked the range, the level of range of the quests that are there. You want to pull that up when you have a second? Sure. The map that has the ranges, that Lotro map that somebody put together. I know it's out on Reddit. B4 is really good at finding that really quick. You must have a shortcut to it. I should shortcut this because it's really handy. In fact, after this, I will definitely shortcut that because it's a great tool. Okay. Yeah. So it's only there might be newer versions out there, but I should scooch that off. Oh, hold up, you. Hang on, I want to take a look at it. So it opened up in a window that made it inconvenient for me to look at it. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So you can follow that link that before I just put into the chat. So we're doing like level 25, level 28 stuff. So we're like as if we're in the Lone Lands or the North Downs. No, I know it's not on my screen. I'm looking at it. People can do their own thing. So, okay, sorry. Can't do multiple threads. Okay, so we're as if we're doing stuff that's the same level as the Lone Lands here or the North Downs up here. So my guess is that we'll line back up sometime when we get to the Trollshaws, maybe. We'll find out. So that's the thing. We haven't done this chain. We haven't done this quest chain before. So that's why we're really excited to do this, because we want to see where does this go, you know? Okay, so hang on a second. This got, let me stop. Let me start. I do have the closed captioning up, but because I open the map over the closed captioning. I think it weirded it out. So should be back. So if you do use closed captioning, you should be able to do that over on the screen over in the far corner over there. Okay, awesome. We are in Sarch Vorn, which is over here above my head. And there's a, it's a ford, a fording of the river that takes place right by the Shire. So basically, we're here in Cardolan, and over there is the Shire. Now, when you get there, because it's not built out, they don't have the South Farthing built out in this game. So when you you get across there, there's a teleporty thing, and it takes you from here. Let me zoom out. So it takes you from here at Sarch Vorn, and you show up in Mickledelving. Well, not in Mickledelving, a little bit south of it, at the homesteads, the Shire homesteads. So it's like a quick teleport from here to like kind of where the T is down there. Oh, you can't see it. Yeah, you can. It's right there. It's about there. So my hope, my thinking, I'm wondering if they are planning on building out the South Farthing soon, like in the my guess is, okay, so this is the 16th anniversary of Lotro coming up in April. They do an anniversary event, and it'll be the 16th anniversary of Lotro. So my guess is sometime between now and the 20th anniversary, they will build out the South Farthing and do the scouring of the Shire. That's my guess. Because we just did a huge bunch of, like, Lotro over the last 3-ish years has done a lot of Dwarven focused things. We had like the War of the Three Peaks, and we had Fate of Gundabad, and like all these things that are very, you know, dwarf focused. And so now they're ready to shift, and I'm guessing a couple of things are gonna probably happen. Just thinking from a business perspective, and what would I do, and also where can you go? So they've definitely hinted that they're going south. So we're talking like maybe Harad, maybe Khand over here. I don't know that they're going to Rune yet over here. But my guess is there's some map to fill in here. Another reason why I think that is because, and Druid's Fire points this out on her streams, that if you look at the Stable Masters map that is out, so it goes over from there to there, okay. And then if we scroll down, all of this area is on the map. Like, why would they bother having all of this space on the map? Like, why not just have the map cut off like right there if they weren't planning on going into that area? Like, they don't have this map going up north forever, and they don't have it going to the side. Like, this is as far to the side as it goes. So that's what makes me think, and I makes her think, and I kind of agree, that I feel like this is getting, they might be preparing to fill some of this in. Now, they do have all this area that's not filled in also. Does that mean we're going that direction? I don't know much about the history of that direction. Just looking at my Middle Earth map on the wall. So Enedwaith, yeah, the Bay of Balfalas. Yeah, there's like a mountain range over here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they would do out here. There's definitely names of stuff here and here. So, and here, this area has a name. So maybe there's history of things that they would want to explore in those areas, but I really think they're going down this way. Like maybe with the next expansion, which is coming out probably later on this year, I think. So anyway, those are some of my theories. Okay, but we have been, so there was a bunch of rangers. They were here. The 9 riders came through, the Nazgul came through and were on their way to the Shire. The rangers tried to, you know, hold them off, and were basically just run down. So we know that at least one of the riders went into the Shire. You're doing the reading emote. That's so awesome. This is a new emote you can get through the legendary item reward track. Oh, and your book has stuff on it. I thought it was a blank book. It looks like there's stuff on the pages. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, yeah, the glowy hands on, yeah. Oh, that's really nice. That's a good emote. Yeah, that's lovely. I have earned it on this server, but I haven't picked it up yet. So I still need to do that. I basically need to clear some space because I haven't started claiming, and so you have to claim in order, and it's, I think, level 50, right? Yeah, there it is. Legendary Coffer of a Good Book. So that's there. So I have to have 50 inventory spots and be ready, prepared to manage all of that legendary item stuff. And I haven't been ready for that, so we'll do that another day. Anyway, okay. So the 9 came through, and these guys are dealing with the aftermath of that. So that's where we are in this storyline. Okay.
I have not forgotten.
So we came and warned him about Saruman because we've gotten a number of warnings saying Saruman has turned. We came with another guy who was a previous ranger, but he turned his back on the ranger world because he felt like he failed them, and so he left. And so they're all like, he's not a ranger. Like, I don't know. There's some animosity there. So we showed up with that guy, and so Halbrad here is a little leery of the information that we brought, but he's like, well, but I need help, so I'll listen to you. Anyway, he says, okay, I have not forgotten you, nor the warning you brought to us of Saruman. Now, let me put your mind at ease. It seems he is the only of the wizards to betray us, because there was a question of, like, is it all the wizards, or what? But he says, it seems to be that he is the only of the wizards to betray us, and thank the powers that be so. While you were gone, a rider came up out of the south, Gandalf the Grey, astride a mighty horse, a steed of Rohan. So he's running around on Shadowfax. He says, we spoke only briefly, but it was enough to assure me that Gandalf still aligns himself on the side of the free peoples. And yet, the wizard's tidings were not all so rosy, for he said that evil forces are now in motion that could threaten the peace and safety of all of Middle-earth. He could spare no more time before hurrying into the Shire in pursuit of the Nazgul that preceded him. So this sounds to me then, okay, so this would be after he's been imprisoned in Isengard. And so he already knows that Saruman has turned, and he is freaked out and trying to get to the Shire to make sure that the riders haven't gotten to Frodo in time. Meanwhile, Frodo and them have left the Shire, gone off to his second house, and then left there and are on their way to Bree. So, so they're like, they're traveling and trailing each other in various ways. As before, it says, the nice thing about the reward track is that most of them are enhancement runes or ancient scripts, so it doesn't take up space for long. Yeah, that's true. That's true. If I open up the boxes and it's enhancement runes, those do stack, and that's nice. And then I did use up a bunch of ancient script recently because I was really full. Yeah, now I'm down to 1,200. It was up to 10,000. So actually, okay, so that's cool. I have a lot of room for that. Yes, as long as you're not almost full in ancient script, of course, he says, which, yeah, I'm good. Okay, so back to what Halbrad has to say. He says, so what brings you back to this place? Yes, Egarthur agrees that, yes, the cap on ancient script puts a kibosh on that. All right, well, I'll start gathering up my rewards here pretty soon. All right, so you briefly tell Halbrad that you have learned of the Grey Fear, which is something that we've been learning about in the game, and that Gorwyn and Meneldir believe it remains hidden somewhere deep within the keep of Dol Irnel. He said, these swords you bring to me will be destroyed, because we collected some swords to show him some things. He says, for the runes that cover their faces are evil, but after I see that done, you must return to Dol Irnel, and I, and not alone, I and several of my company will go with you. I fear the two who remained may be in great danger. Okay, so now he's sending us back up towards the top. So we've got to find a lady. Sorry, they say the hag of the old forest over there. We've got to go up and help some people there. And oh yeah, I'm working on Half-Orc Slayer in general. Okay, so we're headed north, it sounds like. What do I know? Where can I take us? Can I take us to Andreth? I think I can. Yes, I can. Would you like to go to Andreth? Andreth? I will take us. So yeah, let's see. Before it says, I think Gandalf relates his travel from Edoras to the Shire to Frodo in Book 2, Chapter 1, Many Meetings. Yeah, this sounds familiar. Yeah, we were just listening to some Lord of the Rings over the last few days. we have some construction going on in the house, so currently things are all a bit chaotic. So before has his work station set up down here in the living room. And I spend most of my time also in the living room. So I was like, okay, what can we listen to that will not disturb his work and I will also find interesting. So I was like, hey, you want to listen to Lord of the Rings? So he's got it on, well, I was going to say audio tape. I guess it's not tape. It was on CDs originally, so there we go. So now it's the audio book, which is great. I can't remember who the narrator is, but it's somebody that is known, like lots of. If I said it, there'd be people who'd be like, "Oh yeah, that one, I have that," or I used to listen to that one, or whatever. So it's a nice one to listen to. It's not new by any means. It's like, I don't know, 20, 30 years old. It's a ways. Okay, so here we are going up into the Misties here and getting into Dol Ernil. And we've got some whites in the doorway. We're just gonna ride right by them because we're a little bit higher than them. We came in here. These are our main characters on this server, and so we had out leveled the area before the area became an area. But we really wanted to come in and check out the storyline and, of course, complete every deed that's possible. So, Manildir and Gorwyn are both gone. Dum, dum, dum. These are some rangers we left back here.
This is what I
at this
feared.
campsite. Halbrad says, this is what I feared. Did some evil come to them, or did they foolishly depart in search of it? Gorwyn at least would have had the sense to remain until you returned, but of Manildir I cannot say. He has fled his duty before. Might he not do the same today? Hey, I think that's a bit much.
We have no
I think
choice
something
now.
happened. All right, so Halbrad says, we have no choice now. We have to search for Gorwyn and for Manildir and hope we are not too late. Prepare yourself and speak to me when you are ready. One way or another, this adventure nears its end. All right, well, let's go figure it out.
We will search the keep.
So he says, we'll search
Let
the
us
keep,
hope we are prepared to
and let us
face
hope we are
whatever
prepared to
find.
face whatever we find. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, good, it's a
We
group
may already be too
encounter.
late.
So we're in an
Let
instance
us
here,
hope we are not.
and it's Spectre of the Grey Fear. What does Halbrad have to say? He said, the tracks lead into Dol Ernil, but the message I read from them is confused. I cannot determine if Gorwyn and Manildir came this way in peace, or if their progress was hindered by an onslaught of foes. They were together, at least. Of that I am certain. We must follow them. Prepare for battle. All right, it says, fight alongside.
This way.
This way, he says. All right, so we're going through this little slip of a thing. We got some, the dead, they rise. We've been doing some missions, and so we are starting to recognize some of these places because we're like, they took us in here before. All right, Halbrad wants us to go up these tall stairs, so sure. So, Halbrad, I'll go first and check things out. Let me take care of some of these guys for you. Gotta keep you safe there, Halbrad. Do what I can. Alright, cool. Looks like we're going up these stairs into this area. Alright, now what? There's a dusty trapdoor. Maybe we should check it out.
They came this way.
He says they came this way, but where did they go? Maybe this glowing, dusty trapdoor over here. What? I appreciate the glowing aspect of it. Would not have been easy to find. The trapdoor leads to catacombs beneath the fortress. Let's go talk to him, see what he thinks. Should we go into the deep, dark space where we don't see anything? Sounds great. A trapdoor leading to catacombs beneath the fortress. I do not think Gorwyn would follow Manildir in such a place. We will continue to search up here, but if you think there is a chance the two of them descended into the catacombs, if that is what you believe, I will not stop you from there continuing your search. We will join you below when we have finished looking for them up here, and with fortune, we will bring you word that they are found and your own search of the catacombs was needless. All right.
Good luck, my friend.
Good luck, my
We
friend.
will join you when we can.
And we will join you when we can. All right, let's check it out. Let's head on down. You must search the catacombs for Manildir and Gorwyn alone with Affodil. It says alone, but, I think they didn't count on, me having a friend. It's convenient. Alrighty. These are cool catacombs, though. With us being over leveled, you know, we're not getting 100% of the experience here, but and I don't mean by like XP. I mean like the experience of journeying through here and being like, oh, gotta be worried, gotta be careful because bad things are nearby, and you know they can hurt me. And it's like, no, you know, we're pretty strong compared to these guys. So, oh look, there's a cave in there. Can't go that way. Guess we gotta go this way. Ooh, there's some cool statue stuff going on down here. I wonder if these are like, you know, dead people behind there. Oh, here we go. We got a deadly tomb protector. I'm gonna take that one out. Not bad for the seat of power in Cardolan, says before. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, there's somebody behind us. What's going on back here? Hang on, I'm gonna take a look. Oh, it's another tomb. A little dead end there. Cool. There was a chest looking thing. That's cool. So yeah, I'm gonna guess this is where people are buried with their people. Hang on, what's over here? Alright, well, I see you pointing at Gorwin. Hey Gorwin, everything okay? What you doing down here? You have found Gorwin. She is alive. She says something is wrong. While you were gone, Manildir and I passed the time in quiet conversation. Nothing seemed amiss for hours, but then all at once, he leapt to his feet, upsetting his cup and dropping his crust of bread in the dirt. It is not dark enough for such creatures, he shouted, drawing his sword. What do you see? I asked him, but he answered me not. I do not think he heard my words, and he dashed away from the camp and out among the ruins. I gathered up my own equipment and followed him, but for the risk of being cut by one of his many blind swings, I dare not get too near. It's a wonder he didn't blunder into the wights that prowl the ruins above, or perhaps it is not. They might not have understood the words he spoke, and believed his swings were made at them. But I heard the words. He does not know where he is. He thought the throne room above was a farmhouse in the woods, and the trap door the entrance to a root cellar. I do not know what illusory foe he believes he faces, but whatever form it takes, I know this. It must be the work of the Great Fear. The Grey Fear. I think this is what she's talking to is talking about what he, why he left the Rangers. There was a family that he was supposed to protect, and he did not protect them, and so he felt he had, you know, failed being a Ranger, and so he's like, I'm out. I don't deserve to be a Ranger, but he didn't say that because they communicate badly, you know. Got to have some dramatic tension. So yes, so he thought he was in a farmhouse in the woods and was entering a root cellar.
He is down here.
All right.
I know not
He is down
how we
here,
might save him.
but I do not know how we might save him. And let's jump over things. Whee!
Trolls?
Trolls at this time of year. So,
Look out!
oh, but we have not trolls, but we have other things. All right.
There is no time to waste.
There's no time to
Slay
waste.
them all.
Slay them all, he says. Okay. Sure. Alright. What do you think
The
now?
trolls return!
Trolls return. Alright, I'll put another one down. He is definitely caught in some sort of thing.
Manildir,
Manildir, awake from this, she says.
The
Oh, nope, we got more. The specters of his past hold him tightly, woman.
He
will never escape
them.
Hi. This says the Grey Fear.
how have you worked this evil?
She says, how have you worked this evil?
Great power
resides in Cardolan. I was given only a part.
The new Lord of Angmar
He says the new Lord of Angmar possesses a good deal more.
Release him from the spell!
She's like, release him from the spell.
I will
Grey
not
Fear is-
abandon you.
Nope.
I will not.
And Manildir's like, I won't abandon you, I won't.
Only the
He says,
grave
release him. Only
can
the
do
grave
so.
could do so.
No!
What?
No!
You mean? and smacked him with his sword. We'll find out if Meneldir is saved, is gone or not. Still got a health bar.
Given to me by my master
The power given to me by my master is of great use.
All he asks,
All he asks in return is that I serve him.
I serve him. But I was a lord.
But I was a lord. This was to be my land.
Was to be my land.
Affodil just put down a banner
command me.
while we're in this dazed state. That's awesome. None command me, he says. Perhaps I will take a new form, young and strong.
A young form and strong.
Well, you can't be a hobbit.
This kingdom will be
I say no.
mine again.
He says, this kingdom
A
will be mine
kingdom
again,
of
a
the
kingdom of the dead. So what young form are you taking there, Greyfear? I mean, you kind of have a young look already. Come on, he's only got 12,000. Let me at him. Stay thy hand, creature.
You are too
Here's Halberd.
late.
You are too
But
late.
still, we will oppose
He
you.
says, yeah, all right, well, we're still going to oppose you. See, you're over there, we're over here.
Your
We're
time
opposed.
will come, thin-blooded
Your time will
craven.
come, thin-blooded craven. The kingdom of the dead
kingdom of the
will await
dead
you.
will await you.
I mean, all men must die, right? Oh, did he just, like, go into the wall?
Gorwin, are you all right?
I guess so. He says, Gorwin, are you all right? All right, she's up.
I will live.
I will live, she says. But,
Meneldir.
Meneldir. Oh, he's got a ring on his head. His breathing is shallow and his heartbeat is slow. He does not have much time left. He says, there were trolls, like there were before. My watch, my vigil, I would not abandon these folk. Not this time. Not for my oath. Not for me. He slips away and is gone. Aww. Hélas. Yes, indeed. Okay, well, talk to Halbrad. Hey, Halbrad. He said, the creature has fled, and we cannot pursue it from here, but we will see its designs undone and the schemes of its masters overthrown, I swear it. For now we will bring Meneldir from this place. We will not leave him here. That's good. I'm glad that you're going to not leave him there. Hey, Halby, what's up? All right. He says, the Grey Fear has fled, but he will not abandon his hatred of this land. When he reappears, wherever that may be, he must be faced again. Let us hope there are others with your strength and with Meneldir's strength to oppose him. He nods solemnly. Aye, there was strength in Meneldir I had not seen before. I will not say my people judged him too harshly. Instead, I will say this. I know what caused him to depart the Dunedain. Did he trust you with the tale? You nod, remembering the pain on Meneldir's face as the two of you prepared to take the road out of Herne. He said that he let his caution wane and a family paid for it with their lives is a matter of great sadness. But if he spoke of his mistake to Aragorn, chieftain of the Dunedain, and to he to whom we swore our oaths, he would not find heated words. He would not find reprimand or reprisal. He would find words of support and understanding and perhaps tears. Meneldir made a mistake, as every man and woman who walked these lands has made a mistake. Some were lesser and some greater, but what truly matters is how they learned from the mistakes they made. He broke his oath not on the day his watchfulness waned, but on the day he left us. The day he fled from a family that would have helped him. It might have been otherwise had he not given in to the guilt that he felt. I cannot wash away that dishonor, but so too can I not erase the deeds he performed on behalf of the Dunedain and the people of Cardolan in these last few days. These are all things I would tell him now if I could, but it is too late for such words. Before the shadow of his guilt fell upon Meneldir, he was a Dunedain. A cairn of stones we raised in Tornhad in honor of all the rangers who have died in Cardolan these past few days, and I will see that Meneldir is included in that memorial. Aww. He was one of us for a time, and at the end he fought with us with a courage we could not have expected. He says, farewell, Meneldir, rest easy. I've got shoulder pads. Oh, that's pretty. We might take those elven etched pauldrons. Those are kind of interesting looking. Alright.
If it is true that the realm of Angmar
Alright, so
lies
next he
within,
says... Sorry, it gets
we
distracted
are
looking at
about
the
to become
cosmetics, of course.
very busy.
He says, we have shown the Grey Fear that this land will not surrender without resistance, but it seems other dangers spring forth even now. If it is true that the realm of Angmar rises again and its new leader serves the Lord of the Nazgul, we are about to become very busy. This is what I think we should do. I will travel to the North Downs, which is where we usually meet him, to see if there's activity along the border with Angmar. I will go with a number of my kin to reinforce the old city of Affodil, abandoned for many years in a hidden cleft among the hills. So we usually, see him and stuff. He says, if it need become a thriving settlement once again and draw the eye of new foes away from other peaceful villages, well, I will make that judgment when I get there. As for you, you have proven yourself a friend of the Dunedain. I suggest that you aid the people of the North Downs and the Lone Lands, increasing your strength and the good you can do for the people who dwell in those places. When you have achieved as much as you can for them, seek out the ranger Candaith, who helps keep watch on Amansul, the old hill of Weathertop in the Lone Lands. Tell him what you have seen here and warn him of the rising dangers that now threaten Middle-earth. Go with the goodwill of the Dunedain, my friend. May we meet again in happier times. Okay, so we have a new quest, which is Book 3, Chapter 11, A Friend to the Dunedain. Talk to Candaith at his camp near the base of Weathertop. Okay, that's interesting. And that's a level 32 quest. So now I want to know... When we did... It's... Let's see, it's Volume 1... Book 1... Because we get sent to meet... Candaith as well, but not there. Is it, let's see, book 1, let's look at book 2, The Red Maid, Rise of the Orcs, that's Ceradan. He sends us off to Candaith, and that's a level 22, but this quest is like a level higher than that, so... I wonder, I'm just curious where do they meet us back up with the epic line, the original epic line at some point, so we'll find out. Okay, but we still have the Old Forest thing to do. So mount on up and let's start riding out there. Let's see, what's gonna be the best way to get there? Maybe this way. Oh no, you wanna go that way? Okay. I don't know, I just see open sky. I'm like, let's go. Before it says, I like the backfilled information about why he moves from here to Estelden. Yeah, that's nice. It's because I was kind of wondering about that. I'm like, Halbrad? Well, you encounter him later, so obviously he's not here when we get to that point. So what's the scoop? So now we know. He was down here, and then he goes up north. Yeah, because I know like there's talk in the books, I think too, about how the Rangers are keeping an eye on the Shire and on Bree and Breeland. You know, and people don't know. Like, was it Gandalf? Gandalf or Aragorn or both talk about that, about how like these people don't have a clue. Like, we're taking care of all this stuff for them, and they just don't get it. But they're like, that's okay though. Like, we are to protect them, and that's what we do, even if they don't know about it. Oh, Aragorn's saying that in response to Boromir at the council. Yeah, so. Anyway. But yeah, so we know that there's Rangers keeping an eye on things. So this is kind of like showing us that, and that's kind of fun. All right, so we have entered the Old Forest area, but we need to get way over there. I wonder if we need to go to Sarch Vorn and go in from there. I don't know. We'll see. This is definitely an area of the Old Forest that has been added on, I think. Let me see. Because if we go to Breeland and we go to the Old Forest, yeah, we're not even on the map yet. Like, but where we're going is here. on the Old Forest map, but I don't know if you can get in there. So the Old Forest map is not like accurate versus where the paths actually are. And from a lore perspective, that works for me because like there's talk about how the forest changes, right? Like it moves where the paths are, and like when the hobbits are trying to get through, you know, it changes things, and things seem to be shifting, and like this is a normal thing. So the Old Forest, the map that you have of the Old Forest, not accurately representing like where the paths are, how to get around trees, things like that. That actually seems like that seems appropriate. Because yeah, things would have changed from the time when whoever drew that map to the time when you're walking around in here. So there, luckily though, online there are some maps of the Old Forest that are path accurate. So if you, like me, get lost in the Old Forest on a regular basis, either grab one of those maps out there, or find yourself an Affodil who can get you through the Old Forest. I'm lucky in that respect. Affodil seems to have a good, a keen eye for knowing what's a path and what's not, or how to get around things in here, which I appreciate, because I run into walls a lot in the Old Forest. Let's see, it looks like we're coming down to the river. Are we coming down to the Withywindle? No, I don't think so. No, it must not be. It looks, maybe it just looks misty and river-like, but it's not. Okay, it's not, I guess. Oh, nice. B4 has posted a link that looks a little suspicious, but I think it's all right, of the Old Forest on zamming.com, or is it zaming for gaming? Okay. This isn't who I was expecting at all. All right, Hen Bran is who we've been sent to find.
Who are you?
And
Have you been sent by Blue Cloak?
she says, "Who are you? Have you been sent by Blue Cloak?"
I see you are just some
no, I see you are just some hapless adventurer. You begin to explain that you are actually looking for her, but she holds up her hand and interrupts you. "Stop right there. I do not want to hear your story. I have too much to do. I am not but a poor old woman living alone in the dark forest. Usually the man in the blue cloak comes by with a basket of food, but he has not been by for days. I do not know who he is, but did I become dependent on the fish he brought? Well, now I have an idea. You seem to want something from me, though I am but a poor old woman who has nothing. Where was I? Oh, yes. You want something from me, and I want this week's fish. Go get me some fish from the nearby river, and then I will hear your tale. And if not, then good day." And then there's a chicken.
Could I speak with you a moment?
She says, "Since you shall be trespassing about the woods, you might as well help me out with a few other tasks. I want to make my favorite dish, bear meat soup, but I lack some ingredients. Obviously, I shall need bear meat. Bring me also chopped branches from the wicked Hurons and chitin from the lurkers and creepers." Okay. Well, there we go. Laundry list of things to do. Unsurprised. I can't remember why we were sent to talk to her. Somebody back at the ranger camp, I think, or elf camp. Right. Back in history, there was a point where that the Grey Fear thing, basically something bad was coming, and it kept incursioning. Like, it was coming on, and excuse me. They somebody went into the forest, talked to somebody, got something, advice or something, and came back, and the forest, the bad stuff abated. So we're supposed to be trying to figure that out, because now bad stuff is happening, and we're trying to help them stop it. All right, getting our branches on. Cool. Do we need a bark shredder? We do. We need that bear meat. Hey, you know, I'm a hunter. I could be looking for these things, couldn't I? I guess I can wait until we don't find something. I do appreciate when you can, like, not have to go too far and you find things that you're looking for. That's handy. Okay. 3 out of 6 for branches. Ah, there's a spider. Cool. We needed to get some bits off of that spider. I always feel bad, like, taking out critters and stuff, but then I'm like, well, like, if they've gone evil and stuff and they're just gonna, like, harm themselves and harm others, then I'm like, okay, well, I guess we could help out with that. Alright, let's see. Is there an area? Oh, yeah, we're in it. There's a ring down here. Oh, because we're getting fish out of the river. That's probably why. I wonder if we have to actually do fishing. Whee. They did teach us fishing in Swanfleet?
Yeah, part of the epic.
It was part of the epic. Nice. I forgot about that. Now entering Tern Gorthad. Wow. Oh, I bet these sparkly spots are places where I'm supposed to fish. All right, so hang on a second. I gotta find my fishing pole, which, oh, actually, do I have it on me? No, I think it's in my storage, in my vault. Or I don't remember how to spell fishing. Oh, I do have it on me. Ah. All right, so hang on. And then we'll stick that over here because what I'm going to do is swap off my stuff. So if I move the fishing pole to the top and it's by itself, then it makes it easier to put my stuff back on. So, all right, let me pull up my fishing dots. You know how when it starts to bob, you've got to like hit the button really fast? And so I try to keep like a couple of them right next to each other so that way if I misclick, I still hit it. Sometimes you'll see I'll have a character and like they'll have like 4 through 9 is just the fishing dot, the fishing emote. Makes it easier. So did I get one? 0. Let's try that again, maybe over just a little bit. Okay. What do we think? What do we think? Did I get a fish? Not for the quest, I didn't. Am I in the right? Yeah, I'm in the rings. Like. Alright, we'll give that a try. Oh, Affodil is having much more success over there. Alright, so maybe I have to move closer to Affodil. Says don't bring your bad luck over here. We shall see. Yeah, it's still 0. Alright, let's move this way. I'm bringing my bad luck over. Well, I thought I was. Before. I don't know. We'll try this again. Affodil's got 4 fish already. I'm still sitting at 0. And this is what y'all came for, quality fishing content, right? I mean, although there are people who do watch fishing shows, so I don't know. Oh man. Hey, I caught a fish. And I got a quest item. Oops, I'm too busy. It's the fish. Well, that's convenient. So I was watching, I don't know, somewhere I stumbled across, I might have come across like on Twitter, Instagram or something like that, that there was like, I think a pair of brothers who did fishing competitions, and what they were doing is they were putting things in the fish they caught so they would weigh heavier, and because that's apparently how you would win these competitions is by whoever's fish weighed the most. Had nothing to do with the look of the fish, as far as I can tell. It was all about the weight of the fish. And so they were winning these competitions because they were adding weights and things to the fish, which is not legal. And yeah, I think if they had just done it a few times or like once in a while and stuff, but they got kind of made it really, like, they got flagrantly obscene about it. Like, basically they got caught because somebody's like, something ain't right, and they pulled out the fish and they gutted it, like one of the referees or whatever gutted it, and they're like pulling out weights and things. Basically, they had doubled the weight of that fish with all the stuff they'd put in it. It was crazy. So that's what I mean, like, it was really obvious that something was not right, because this was like a little teeny fish and it weighed as much as like a bigger, like, huge fish. So yeah, I think if they had not been so obvious about it, they might not have ever been caught. But I think they just wanted to, they just kept going and going and going. So, but oh my gosh, those people were mad. There's some very angry fishermen. So the moral of the story is, fishing content can be both very relaxing, but also rather entertaining, and also don't try to cheat when you fish. That's the moral of the story of that. All right, I got my 5 fish. Thank you. I am good to go. Let's go find some more spiders and let's see, spiders, bears, and horns. Awesome. And thank you for waiting for me. Letting me fish in your area. Awesome. So we were looking at the calendar, and we go on to daylight saving in Europe here, like near the end of the month. But it looks like America is going on to daylight saving as of this coming weekend. Excuse me. So my streams will be at the same time from a US perspective, because I go ahead and I tie my stream times not to my local time, but to the server time. And server time is keyed to US East Coast time, because that's where the servers are. So I will be streaming at the same time if you are in the US or anybody else who's going on daylight saving this coming weekend. But I will be basically an hour earlier if you are in Europe or anybody else who is switching over at the end of the month. So I think there'll be like a 2 weeks that will be off. Oh, there's a spider. I think I saw a spider. Yeah. You're standing in it. Before it says, I'm having trouble finding nature. I said, you're standing in it. Yeah, Egg Arthur, yes, says one might say they had their thumb on the scales. It was that kind of a thing, right? And then they got caught. And oh my gosh, those people were so mad. Like, somebody was videotaping it. And all sorts of people got their cameras out because they're like, whoa. Here. I'm gonna look for a horn real quick. Hang on a second. Are they nature? Yeah, they're nature, I think. Or they're ancient evil, I forget which. I got barrow roots. It's not quite, yeah? Okay, I'll go towards the barrow root. Here, try that way. Oops. It's either a horn or a root. Well, it'll be a root, but maybe there's a horn nearby. Yeah, I think there might be ancient evil. I'll try it again in a second here. Barrow candles, barrow roots, hornet. That's exciting. All right, hang on. I'm gonna look for another one. I think they're ancient evils. Nope, barrow candles. Okay, ancient evils. Well, then I don't know. All I got was barrow candles on that one. We think a horn might be nature. Yes, originally they were nature. My concern is what did they turn into? Oh, okay, awesome. Oh yeah, so I have a robot. You see it says creatures of nature, and it's a little box there. Okie dokie. Well, let's take another look for a creature of nature. Is there what I'm looking for again? Arrowroot, no. Bullfrog, no. Snake, rabbit, spider, bark shredder. Well, why are we not getting any horns here? Rabbit comes up, of all things, and a fox. Got a couple of snakes, a couple of spiders, got some bark shred. Yeah, so it's okay, it expired. There weren't any horns on the list at the time. We'll just keep walking around until we find one. I haven't checked the map recently. I should probably double check that. So. Just make sure we're not outside the area. No, we're still on the inside of the area. But maybe we start heading north because we gotta go talk to her anyway and she's north. We'll be on our way. Okay, that's 6 out of 6. And return to her. And return to her. Cool. 2 return twos. Yeah. Let me pause here. I'm gonna mount up. That'll get us there a little faster. Plus we can see a little bit better. Little hobbits running through the old forest with these like giant trees and shrubberies that go up to here and everything. So yeah. Yeah. I've been fishing a couple times, like in real life, and I found it very peaceful. Well, like the first time I was like 3 years old and I was kind of bored, but ooh, silver, hold up. Well, gotta grab the branches. But later on, I was doing like fishing where I was like standing in the river sometimes. That was just lovely, just to be like surrounded by the water, this moving water, and I don't know, it was just very peaceful and relaxing. I actually didn't care about the catching the fish part. I mean, it was fine. Like, I was like, cool, I did a thing. And then we would just let it go, you know. So, because I wasn't taking it home and gutting it or anything like that. It's like, these are not skills that I have acquired. but it was fun. It was fun to do for a time. Smoked bear stew. Have you done it? Haha, splendid, she says. You're welcome.
You again?
She says, you again. But you seem to have
seem
fish with
to
you
have
this
fish
time.
with you
Excellent. I will
this
take
time.
then those and then we may talk. We wonder if she's talking about Tom
You
Bombadil?
did as I asked.
Blue Cloak?
I
She
will
says, very
allow
well, you
to
did as
ask
I
in
asked.
return.
I will allow you to ask in turn. What is it you want?
That you want from me?
You explain your search for information about Lilith. Lilith, how old do you think I am? I am no elf to live thousands of years. Now that I think on it, however, the name does dredge up some old memories. She ponders, her wrinkled face crinkling even more as she thinks. Yes, I do recall Lilith having some dealings with my great ancestor, but I cannot help you. The knowledge of what they spoke is lost. Stolen by my wicked sister, Kedrak the Cruel. 'Twas she who stole the Ammon Grimoire, the book of secrets my family has passed down for generations. Among its pages, I recall an account for the Lady Lilith, but what she came here for, I no longer recall. Time has stolen my memories. My sister has stolen the account, along with so very much more. She left me, you know, all alone in this dark forest, an old woman with no one, so lonely beneath the black branches, so alone, so very alone. She pauses dramatically as though hoping you might offer some words of comfort, but then she rushes on before you're able to speak. She lives down by the Brandywine, so perhaps the grimoire is not wholly lost. I have never been to her new home, which I am sure is a hovel. I am too old to make the journey. She made sure to be far enough away to ensure that. You could go looking for the book to get your answers. If you seize it back, bring it to me. I would reward you greatly, but beware of my sister, Hunter. She has had decades to study the grimoire. Who knows what dark power she now wields. Okay. Y'all seem a little crazy, but sure. There's a treasure cache. Woo. Let's check that out. Oh, there's a new deed to collect all the treasure caches in the in this area. Oh wow, there's a graveyard there. How wild! Oops, I got brush. Huh. Well, she's got her own little village and stuff kind of going on. She's got her patchwork of things. Wait, where does this go? There's a path over here. Now entering the southern Barrow Downs. What? Where am I? I don't see myself on the map. Yeah, down here at the very bottom. Fascinating. Alright. Well, that's cool. Alright, well, we gotta go to the Brandywine, which is apparently south of us. Oh, it's cool. It's sparkling. Look like the leaves were sparkling. It's cool. Yeah. And now we're back in the old forest. And now we're going north, but her dot is south, isn't it? Okay. We gotta go north to go south. Oh, we're gonna have a look. We're gonna see where we are. Hey, there's a horn. I know we're not looking for them anymore. Yeah. Oh. So when we come in from the Barrow, so when you're in the Barrow Downs, and you go down to the southern Barrow Downs, down at the very, very bottom, you can see into the old forest and kind of get a couple steps into it. And there's a whole bunch of horns down here, and there's also some bears that aren't doing so well. And there's a couple of quests there's a quest you can do that sends you down here, but also this is a great place to do the deed for getting rid of the horns in the old forest. So if you ever are working on that and you find yourself in the southern Barrow Downs, that's a great place to pop into and just run around and do them right there. Because there's horns all over the place right here. Okay, let's go. Oops, we're going north again. Okay. There we go. Cool. Oh, I do like how it looks a little more flat down here. Like you can kind of see a little bit more of where we're going. Well, okay. You can see a little bit more of the forest around us. Oh, this does kind of look like a path, doesn't it? Interesting. Now we're in Cardolan and Breland. Yeah, it all comes together. The Old Oaks Grove. Oh, we're near the spider area? The Weaver's Den. Oh, there's the Weaver's Den. Yeah, this used to be a bowl. But no, you can still go further down before. Because... Oh, we couldn't go east before. Yeah, I think that's true. So, we're playing on Treebeard. And one of the things that we're doing on Treebeard here is we're playing at a more deadly difficulty. So we're playing on deadly plus 0. And we'd been playing that way from early on. And so we were coming up on level 20 and we had not been defeated yet. And if you get to level 20 and you haven't been defeated, you get the Undying title or something like that. So we were both kind of chasing the title, and a lot of people were. Like, a lot of people were like, oh no, I've been defeated, I'm going to start my character all over again. They would delete their character and start all over again. Neither of us really had an interest in doing that because we were already trying to complete deeds and being very completionist on these characters. And that's a lot of work to go back and start over because we've been traveling together through everything. And actually it was with my other character, I think, actually, at that time, because I switched later. So I was playing a high elf at the time, but a high elf hunter. Now I'm playing a hobbit hunter as my main on the server. So still me, still playing a hunter, but just my high elf girl instead of my hobbit girl. Anyway, but Affodil was still Affodil, and we were coming through the old forest. We were in the spider area. We were working on some deeds. We were working on one of the quest to go find like the big spider queen, and we were being really careful. And we were skirting edges, and we were taking out mobs, one at a time, two at a time, and just something happened. Like I got behind, or like things didn't go according to plan, like as happens sometimes, and you get caught and you've got stuff chasing you and whatnot, and yeah, so Affodil ended up, I think, surrounded by spiders or something, and got defeated, and I did not. And so Affodil lost the title at like level 19. as we were going through there. It was like, oh man, it was so close. It was like less than a level. Had to be less than a whole level away from getting that title. And just the old forest, gotcha. So I just think it's kind of funny. Oh, I see a ring over here. Hello. All right, so this is the evil sister. Hi, evil sister Kedrak.
I see you have been
She
over
says,
to speak with my
hello
sister.
there. Why, yes, I am Kedrak
Henbran is as
Amon. I see you
dramatic
have
as
been over
ever,
to
it
speak with my
seems.
sister. Henbran is as dramatic as ever, it seems. She says, well, now, I do not know about the grimoire she is speaking of. I would never have dreamed of stealing it from her. I know how import. Oh dear. She stopped speaking, her brow furrowed. Oh dear. When I decided to start keeping my own house with my husband, I took a few things with me. I did, however, take a large chest full of blankets that I had knitted, as well as the wedding dress I was sewing. Oh my, that was so long ago now. My husband is many years past, and my own daughter has gone on to wed and lose her own husband. But I digress. Perhaps the grimoire was within the chest when I left to come here. Oh, if so, I feel awful. I never intended to take Henny's grimoire. She was always so much more dedicated to the family history and all the teachings from her ancestors. No wonder she thinks I am cruel. Oh dear. Listen, I would impose a boon upon you, if you will. My daughter has been sick for many days, and I was just about to head out to gather herbs with which to treat her ailments. If you will gather what I need, I'll go look for the chest. I need willowbark, yarrow, and slippery cap mushrooms. I will head inside now to look for that chest. Okay. All right, so we have another cute little house. That's nice. I like how they've kind of set up their little, their little gardens and everything. Very nice, very nice. Okay, what are we looking for here? Oh, we have some willow bark. How did you know it was there? But no, I'm just like, hey, I see something that says yarrow. Alright, cool. Wonder if we get to keep that. It's a dye ingredient for scholars. Oh, okay, it's all over the place here. I got it. Now I'm catching on. I was starting to think like maybe I didn't have floaty names on or something. Oh, anyway, so people on the server definitely were very interested in getting that Undying title. But I will say that I can't recall the last time I saw somebody actually using it. Like, yeah. Rosenblum has, I have Lady of Streams. Affodil has Gate Crasher. Yeah, so, like, yeah. Sorry. So I have a Kenny who says that spiders are not friendly, they eat hobbits. Yes. So true. All right, let's see. There's some ash branches over here, but I need slippery mushrooms. Where does one find slippery mushrooms? Well, in this area for sure. Haha. There we go. Sorry, slippery cap mushrooms, not just slippery mushrooms. Either way, they sound kind of gross, but maybe she's gonna make a potion of some sort with it. Maybe that'll be less gross. All right, let's see. Oh, here's another one down the hill. Another one after that. Okay. What is that? I collected a bone. An ancient bone, brittle and broken. Huh. That's wild. And some fish. Fresh fish. Before it says it's a get better, I'll keep feeding you this potion. Indeed. Like Arthur says, they should create a spider-oriented title web browser because it's a web. Yeah, that does seem like a missed opportunity, doesn't it, really? Oh, do you want to follow me down? I'm going back down the hill. Oh, you got a new title? I'm all about browsing safely. Web shredder. Very nice. Yeah. I guess I can mount up. Oh, do you have everything you need? Yeah, so anyway, sorry, back to that thought. That does seem like a missed opportunity to not have a web browser also using the spider puns. Like, it's right there. Oh, back to this house. What if I can get on top? Oh, I can get on top! That's so cool. Okay, anyway, oh. No, like a web browser, you know, like your Googles and Yahoos and... All right, so here she is in her house with, looks like some children type people. Cute little house.
What can I do for
She says, you found everything? Why, thank you. The willow bark and yarrow will help my daughter feel better, while the mushrooms will be part of tonight's meal. Oh, okay.
Do you
So
know
she
I
said, do you
searched
know
my
I searched the entire house while you were gone? Then my daughter reminded me the chest is in the basement. Whew, my memory is not what it once was. Go on ahead and search the chest for the book. If it's in there, you can bring it to my sister. Okay. Oh, here's the family chest. Let's take a look. You found a blue cloak. Like the person who brings the fish?
So,
Oh,
found
the
my
daughter
blue
says,
cloak,
so you
eh?"
found my blue cloak. Yes, I was the one bringing food to Auntie Henbran. My mother suspected, but she didn't ask me about it. I had to stop this week because my daughter and I both fell ill, and I've been here watching over her. I am so grateful you were able to help fish for Auntie in my stead. I will take up the task again as soon as I am feeling better. Perhaps this time I will not have to go cloaked and hiding who I am. I desperately wish to meet my mother's sister. I was able to bake some bread earlier today. Will you bring the loaf on the table to Auntie Henbran? May it help her to even further mend the gap between our family. Okay. But what about we're still missing oh, it says continue searching the chest. Oh, okay. Well, let me grab the bread. The bread is warm and smells amazing. Aw, that's nice. All right, what else did we find in the chest? We found an old book. Hurrah! She says you found the grimoire. Oh dear, I cannot believe I had
cannot
it
believe
all
I have
this
had it
time.
all this
So many
time.
years of my sister thinking I stole it from her when I left. I would never have done such a thing. I can understand now why she never visited, even when my daughter was born. How very sad. We missed out on so many years of each other's lives. Please bring the book to my sister. With my blessing and my apology, if you will carry it, it is not enough, but I hope one day she will forgive me. Okay. Well, yeah, we can do that. That's a cute little house, isn't it? I like it. I keep hoping we're going to get more housing, and I'm hoping it'll be Hobbit housing. So, there's some things coming out. So the festival starts in 2 days, the next one, the Spring Festival. And I know that, so Cardolan is the SSG community manager, and he streams here on Fridays. And I haven't been catching it every Friday, but the videos are here on Twitch, on this channel, and also cross-posted onto YouTube, onto the Lotro YouTube channel. So I've been catching up, because it's easier for me to find them on YouTube. So I've been catching up and watching them on YouTube sometimes. And yeah, he was talking about some new goodies that are coming out for this spring festival. And I can't remember what it was though. It was like some cloaks, I think, and some furniture maybe. Anyway, it seemed hobbity, if I recall. So, and then we also had the Gammer stuff that came out like 2 years ago, I think. Excuse me, and that was very hobbity, so that was some good stuff too. So, yeah, here's hoping for more good Hobbit stuff. Hobbit stuff. Although, you know, now I think about it, we didn't actually fill up on the Gammer stuff on this server. We have that over on Evernight. So we got a whole bunch of the Gammer furniture on Evernight, and then we have a Breeland kin house, and so we took like one of the rooms on the main floor but it's still significant size, and it has a, oh, hang on, it has silver. Oh, you got it, okay. It has a fireplace, and so we kind of set the furniture up all around the fireplace, and it looks very, yeah, it looks very cozy and it's nice. So. I was thinking we should do that, but I've got so much stuff already at our kin house here on Treebeard, and it's a Shire house, so it's a little bit different looking, but anyway, okay. So let's see, the Blue Cloaked Stranger. Let's talk to her about the daughter
I have
first.
missed
She
so
says,
much.
Bread from Blue Cloak.
Has so
You
much
explain
time really
Derwin's
passed while I
role
sat
as
in
the
my
Blue
anger.
Cloaked Stranger and her wish for mending things between the sisters. This whole time it was Derwin, and my sister's daughter has a daughter of her own. I have missed so much. Has so much time really passed while I sat in my anger? Well, this seals it, she said. I will go and see them and bring herbs of my own to help with this sickness. In truth, I know a path my knees will be able to tolerate. All this time, I could have gone to Kendrak, but I closed my heart just as I closed my door when she would come by. When was it that she stopped coming, I wonder? So long ago, it seems. I wonder if she will forgive me for what you have said. She already has. Joy creeps into my heart, and I must make haste. As much haste as this old body can make, that is. And she laughed softly.
So you
Oh,
returned.
and we brought the book.
And
And she
no more
says,
the worse
"You
for
returned, and
wear,
no
it
more
seems.
the worse for wear.
my
It
sister
seems.
gone
Has my sister gone soft?" You hand her the grimoire and explain to her what happened. She is quiet for a long time, looking down at the large book in her hands. Decades without her over an accident. What have I done?
It took me a
All
little
right,
while to
says,
find the passage about Luilos.
It took me a little while
But
to find
here it
the
is.
passage about Luilith, but here it is. It says here that the lady came looking for help finding the source of power that was compelling the dead to walk. My ancestor and Luilith worked out the location for the Grey Fear. Ah, yes, I remember tales of this evil being. Let me see, she says, and she pauses, reading. Ah, yes, here it is. My ancestor, Darogandis, urged her to gather forces, but Luilith went on her own to... I can't quite make it out. But wait, this passage here, I do not remember. Darogandis wrote that Luilith first went to seek counsel from another. I think I've known whom she speaks. There is one who walks this forest, even more powerful than myself. Her memory is long, and she will know where Luilith went next. You will find her by the riverside if you follow the path just right. You shall know her by her shining hair, and perhaps if you are lucky, by her song on the wind. That's who I was expecting we would go find. I'm assuming this is Goldberry. All right, we are to go find a mysterious woman and a hobbit on a roof. Very nice. I like it. Oh, you fell. Yes. Yeah, it was good. It was a good effort. Okay, so you know what? I haven't opened my Hobbit present today, so let's take a look. You know, they said they were thinking about redoing Hobbit presents, but I'm thinking it became like a lower priority than other things they're working on. Yeah, they want to do a solo thing. I get it. Like, they have a huge laundry list of things they want to do. Okay, so open silver for free. That's what I want to do. And is it White O'Boffin? It is. He gave me a minor potion of power and 20 virtue XP. Coolio. So let me grab that. I'm going to stick it in my shared storage. Because I have my other characters. So most of my other characters aren't as deed completionist as this character is. Which means they're not getting as much virtue experience. Because as we're completing deeds, a lot of times, well, not all the time, but like a fair amount of it provides virtue experience. So my virtues are looking pretty good. Like you can see, yeah, full, working full. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, so a bunch of these aren't done yet, but like, I don't know, a third of them, half of them, I've already gotten back up to max. So. And I say back up to max because when we got to level 50, and our virtues could be at 25 because it's half of your level, then we'd gotten them to be full, which was pretty awesome. Am I full? Oh yeah, mine did get full at 60. That's right, because that was coming out of Moria, and so we did all the Moria and Lothlorien deeds, all that, and then we went to 65 for Mirkwood, And we did all those deeds. I think we may have just finished one or two of the skirmish deeds for Mirkwood, but anyway, so yeah, we had gotten quite a lot of virtue experience there also. So it's just been this next 10 gap from 65 to 75 where I haven't maxed out on my virtue XP yet. But I mean, there's a festival coming, so there's virtue XP options there, because there's usually a quest that counts for the festival wrapper that also gives you virtue XP. And then sometimes there's also a quest that will be that will give you what was the other one I was thinking of? Oh, reputation with the Inn League or the Ale Association, or one of each, you know. So, anyway, hi Goldberry.
Both the shadows
She says,
in
welcome.
your eyes
You must
and
be
the
a
murmur
friend to
of the
young
river
Henbrand to have
tell
found me
dark
thus.
tidings
I am
have brought
Goldberry,
you
and
here.
both the shadows in your eyes and the murmur of the river tell me dark tidings have brought you here. You explain your search for Lilith and for a way to put the unquiet dead back to rest. Glad I am to hear that you are challenging the Grey Fear, though my heart knows sorrow once more to hear to hear dear Lilith's name spoken. I spoke with her indeed long ago and very near to the same spot. She came to me for aid, as you yourself now do. I gave her what protections I could, and I hold hope that they provided an advantage in her final hours. For though she vanished, so too did the dead trickle back into their barrows. To you I will give the same boon, but you must follow in her footsteps to procure it. Deep in the forest, behind the tangled webs of the deadly weavers, grow dust blossoms, the scent of which bolsters the heart against dread. Bring me 5 blooms. Sorry about that. She says, bring me 5 blooms from the ruins at the center of the forest, and that you may go to battle with your heart girded. Okay. Right. To the spiders. Got it. Hey, with Spring Festival, maybe I'll change into one of my Goldberry outfits. I don't think I have one set up on this character, though. Let's see. No, that's one of my adventuring outfits. Oh, that's a nice spring outfit, though. That's a good one. I might just wear that one. That one's a good one. That's a good winter outfit. Oh, that's also a good winter outfit. I might overwrite that one. This is what I'm wearing. This is another one of my adventuring outfits, although a little bit more chic. That was a Halloween outfit. I was a bear. Rawr. That's another one of my adventuring outfits, because of the hat, you know. It's the hat which makes it the adventuring outfit. Oh, and that's my, like, Moria adventuring outfit. That was a good one. Okay. But yeah, so, let's see. Oh, I have to collect a dust blossom. Hold on. Yeah, I can do it from my, I don't have to get off the horse. That's nice. I can reach it from my pony. That's kind of handy, isn't it? It's kind of a creepy place. Oh, it's a broken urn. I can't pick that up. Let's see, what else? Let's find another dust blossom. There's one. Here's one. Long time ago when I was doing a play. I wasn't actually doing the play. Somebody else was doing the play. I was involved with plays and stuff. And there was a part where one of the, not one of the main cast members, but one of the background actors had to, people were trying to find something, and the guy had to say, here's one, but he always said it in a really odd way. I have all the blossoms I need, yes. And he would say, here's one. It was, I don't know, distinctive. And it became something that we all kept saying. So when somebody says that, sometimes I hear that in the back of my head. Anyway, where was I going? Oh, well. I can't remember what I was talking about. I'm sorry to say we don't have any cats on camera yet today. It still could happen, but it possibly might not, because one of the kitty cats is sleeping over here very, very well next to me. She's very happy. And the other one, I'm guessing, is sleeping upstairs in the closet. Oops, I fell in the water again. Hey, Goldberry. Oh, I was going to look for a Goldberry
Welcome
outfit. That's
back.
what I was doing.
Oh,
All right, she
dear.
says, welcome back.
have
Oh,
some
dear, you have some
webbing
webbing
in
in
your
your hair. You have found the dust blossoms. Wonderful. Now then, place the blooms in the water and be sure to stay close by. Okay. Place for dust blossoms. Okay, let's find out what happens. A cloud of musty smoke envelops you. You feel more determined. Rawr. She says, go with cheer and walk more lightly, for day will always follow night. May this small thing help you to do great deeds.
May this small thing help you do great deeds.
Okay, and now we go back to Anrath. That's a location. Andrath? Yeah, I think that's what you meant. Not anthrax. Yes, no. Thankfully, the blossoms did not give us anthrax. But yeah, so one of the festivals, maybe spring, has some cool Goldberry dresses. Let's see. Open the wardrobe. Oh, hey, we're here. Hey, Rengar. She says, you return. I was growing worried. You were gone for so long. You tell her what you discovered. The woman you met sounds fascinating. And Sarch Vorn? I have heard the name, but I have never been. It was a haunted place even before the rest of Cardolan's dead stirred again, she says.
I still cannot
She says, I still cannot believe you found so much evidence of Rita's final hours. You even worked with someone who had spoken directly to her? This is astonishing. Everything you have accomplished in such a short time is more than I have been able to do in my many years of research. Oh yeah, speaking of virtue experience, 2000 coming. She says, we are so close. We now know where Lilith went to fight the Greyfear. I suspect this creature was not defeated as was thought. They may even be in Sarch Vorn now. I hesitate to ask you to go, but no, you have proven yourself over and over again. I believe you can follow in the footsteps of Lilith, and in so doing, perhaps we can put the dead to rest as she once did, this time for good. I do not know the way, but I know one who might. I have been speaking with the ranger Gorwyn. Ask her if she knows the path to that unholy place. Yes. Hey,
You
Gorwyn,
have
what do you know?
reason to believe that
You have reason to believe the Greyfear truly dwells within Sarch Vorn.
Vorn?
It is worse than I feared. I have not given thought to that terrible place since I was a young girl. It was spoken of as almost a myth among my kin, a tale to steal the hearts of children should the dead ever again crawl from the barrows of Tirn Gorthad. I know the way to Sarch Vorn, but it is treacherous. It is to the southeast of here, built into a hill of black stone. If you spy an old wooden bridge crossing a chasm before a waterfall, you have found the way. If you seek to defeat the Greyfear, meet me there, my friend. Let's see, Rengar has something else. She says, I do not know what you may find in Sarch Vorn, but I wonder if I could ask you to look for any clues that my mother may have gone that way. I suspect that, like us, she was following in Lilith's footsteps. I do not know what you might find, but anything at all would be of interest to me. I'm returning to Hern. The stew must need stirring by now. You carry much hope with you, and I will keep hope in my heart that I will see you again. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Let's see. What is the... I don't know what that dress is called. Let's see. If I just go to outfit... upper body, that shows me dresses. Upper body will also show you dresses. And what is... Oh yeah, long sleeve dress of the Spring Maid. They didn't call her Goldberry with the dresses, they call it Spring Maid. So it's got the same little hip thing going on there. So we've got the long sleeve dress of the Spring Maid. Oh, there we go. Just look for Spring Maid. Okay, so we've got the long sleeved and the short sleeved version. I like the short sleeve version. It's got cute little caps there and stuff. Megan! Hiya, Megan! Welcome. We were just talking to Goldberry, which got me thinking about Goldberry's outfit, which got me to thinking that I should put together a spring outfit at some point based on that, since the Spring Festival is coming in just a few days. So there's the rose version of it, and I've worn that one. That one's nice. I have to decide if that's what I want to do, or if I want to do like a completely different color. Like, do I want to do a dark green? Oh, that's kind of what it comes in. What does black look like? Oh wow, that's kind of striking, isn't it? That's a very different look. It's not as springy, but it's an interesting look. How about like a burgundy? Burgundy's alright. Let's see, sea blue. Oh, so yeah, so the cat is not here. He's probably sleeping upstairs. He had last Monday, so a week ago yesterday, 4 teeth taken out because he had 2 that were bad. And then when he got into the dentist where they were, or the vet, they, put him under and got in there, and there was 2 more that had like cavities. And so I guess that either they don't do fillings for cats, or it was just bad enough. I don't know. So they went ahead and took those 2 teeth out too. So he lost 4 teeth a week ago. Poor guy. So he's been a little more worn out than his normal self. But he's starting to perk up a bit, But when he gets really tired, he still goes upstairs and sleeps in the closet. So they were zooming around here earlier, the cats were. So I'm guessing he's probably gone upstairs and has gone to bed. You know what? I'm not digging any of those colors today. So I think I will, for the spring festival, I think I'll probably just go with, not the adventuring hat. I think I'll probably just wear that during the festival. That's a good look. Big floppy hat. Who doesn't love a good floppy hat? It's also a good spring, it's also a good summer look, and it's also a good farmer's fair look. So I might keep an eye out for maybe spring ideas that I prefer. Well, I could do the, what is it called? Of the fancy fellow, or is it fancy, or what did they call him? I'm trying to remember what they called the Tom Bombadil set. It wasn't, because that was spring made. This is what they called her set. What did they call his set? It was funny though. I think the under jacket. Let me see. Maybe if I go back to all. Merry Fellow. All right, so let's look for the Merry Fellow. So I could just throw together a Merry Fellow outfit, right? Like, who doesn't love to be Tom Bombadil? Yes, Aaron Bard also says Merry Fellow. Thank you. So that's another idea, is I could run around as Tom Bombadil, or Tom Bombadil's look. So yeah, Megan, I bet he zoinked. Yeah, he was. Oh my gosh, the first day he came home. So last Monday, a week ago, he came home, and he'd been under the anesthesia. Like they put him under at like noon or so, or something like that. Anyway, so they expected he would be like, the anesthesia would be out of his system by about 5 o'clock in the evening, and so then he might want to eat, because he hadn't eaten since 8 o'clock the previous night, because that's when we had to take the food away. So that way he had an empty stomach when they put him under anesthesia. And so we figured he's got to be like really hungry by now, but he's also was kind of woozy. And so he came home at like, I don't know, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or so. And he'd be like walking, and then he'd kind of start walking sideways. Kind of like me trying to get up this hill. So it was so funny though. It was like, poor guy. I felt so sorry for him. And then he went upstairs, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's doing stairs. Like, can he even do stairs with as wobbly as he is? And he did. He went up the stairs, and then we have another set of stairs, and it's open stairs, so like just the straight part, but there's no up and down part, and you can see through. And he started doing that, and I was like, oh man, like I didn't want to go and grab him because I didn't want to freak him out. Oops. But I was like really worried about him like falling through the stairs. Well, thankfully he did not. He came back down, and I was like, yeah, we're just gonna try and block those stairs a little bit so you don't do that again right away. But then he just kept sleeping in the closet a lot. So we found a weathered skeleton. We should take a look at that. There was a necklace on the skeleton. How weird. We have to bring the necklace to Rengar, who I think is around here somewhere. Megan says, Tom's one of my favorite characters. It was so cool seeing him when I was leveling. Yay! I love, there's times when I just go back and hang out like Tom. Now you can get the music that plays in Tom Bombadil's house and put it in your own house. So that's the house music I usually have playing at my house, unless I have like the like a festival song, music box playing. But usually I have the Tom Bombadil's theme, which I'm pretty sure you get from the Matham House. You have to have a certain amount of reputation with the Matham Society, so you can get into the Matham House, and then you can buy the music there. I'll double check at the end. We're like an hour 40 in, so we'll do some more questing here in Cardolan, but then before I finish, I can go over and double check that for you. So, all right, so Gorwyn says,
In all my years,
I have never dared to stray any closer to Sarch Vorn, but if this is where the Grey Fear dwells, it is where we must go. There is no other choice, lest we allow this evil to spread through all of Cardolan, perhaps even all of Eriador. If this is truly the work of Angmar, then my vengeance is twice earned. Cardolan has suffered through loss, and we cannot allow the Grey Fear to bring it to ruin once more. As Lilith's quest led her to these ancient grounds, perhaps we can find some sign for passing in Sarch Vorn, or some tool to aid us to overcome the Grey Fear. Even the most insignificant thing may prove a great boon. Let us go. If we wait any longer, I fear my courage will fail me. Indeed. Okay, well, we need to enter Sarch Vorn. Alrighty. Entering we are. And search for some sign. Well, there's a mustering horn. Does that count as a sign? We have discovered it. Oh, 75? Yeah, okay. Wine. Alright, we're gonna go in. And I better food up then. We're gonna do it on level, as opposed to the level of the area that we've been running around in.
Here to get free if you do a full fellowship.
Okay, we're doing this tier 1, but we're doing it on level.
Before the fall of Cardolan,
So,
and the aftermath of the war with
new
Angmar
search.
and the
Sarch
great
Vorn,
plague
the Black
that
Gate.
followed,
Okay. We got a
countless
summoning
dead
horn
were
here.
laid to rest in mass burials
blow this horn.
among the
Who we got?
stones of a ruined
Gorwyn!
temple of the Edain.
Glad to see
Its
you.
name of old forgotten.
Okay, we have
King
to
be
search
known
for
as
the Grey
Sarch
Fear.
Vorn, the Black Grave. And those
Although she had said
centuries
what
of
to look for
abandonment,
any
none,
sign of
save the most unwary
Lilith.
or
Oh well.
foolhardy,
What have you?
ever dared approach it.
Alright,
But
how bad
now,
are these guys?
the
No,
Witch
let's go
King
back.
of Angmar has returned
Let's see.
to rouse the Barrow Whites from their slumber
The
and summon forth an ancient
narrator has a
evil
lot to say.
thought banished long ago.
Wow.
The Grave.
There's a huge paragraph of information coming out. Alright, it says, before the fall of Cardolan, in the aftermath of the war with Angmar and the great plague that followed, countless dead were laid to rest in mass burials among the stones of a ruined temple of the Edain. Its name, of old long since forgotten, it came to be known as Sarch Vorn, the Black Grave, and through centuries of abandonment, none, save the most foolish or greedy, dared to approach it. But now, the Witch King of Angmar has returned to rouse the Barrow-wights from their slumber and summon forth an ancient evil thought banished long ago, the Grey Fear. Okay. Well, let's go. Where do we need to go? Lost track of the direction. Well, you're just jumping up all sorts of stuff. I see some spiders. Maybe we should, like, take them out. And a great oak. Barrow oak. Alright. What else we got over here? There's some rats. I've kind of lost my bearings in here already, so I'm not sure what direction, if there's a path through here. I mean, it's very swampy-like, so maybe there's no path. The cat's over here next to me doing her little snore, which sounds like kind of a slight chitter. Hang on a second. Hang on, I gotta put the cat on. Hang on. I woke her up. Sorry, baby. I gotta mute my game sound? Oh well. Alright, I'll try to remember that next time. Well, I woke her up, but I got the microphone too close to her. Sorry, sweetie. Yeah. You little squeaky. Yeah. Sorry, I'm giving cats some belly rubs over here. I'm one-handed fighting at the minute. She's very happy. She's like reaching her paws up and down. Let's see, is there something over here? Maybe? Happy purring cat. That's a good thing. With a din of splintering bones and branches, a terrible creature awakes. Fladach, it says. Okay, yeah. Let's see what we can do about this thing. Is it trappable? Not so much. That's not first. Holler. There we go, we have defeated it. Hurrah! Oh, and he had a chest. He had goodies. We're gonna loot his goodies. Oops, let me get on the stairs properly here. Oh, hey, looks like we're going through this portal. Okay, oh, now we're underground. Well, in a tomb. Tomb structure. Alright. Cool. So when the Ill Omens event was happening, we spent a lot of time gathering up characters and to do the Ill Omens event. So basically each day you would go and do a handful of skirmishes based on where they wanted you to go. So like one day it would be a handful of skirmishes that were in Moria. And then the next day it would be a handful of skirmishes to deal with Mirkwood. And then it was like the skirmishes of the Free Peoples or something. So you had like the Defense of the Prince of Conan, things of that sort. So stuff that pretty much anybody could do that were just like unlocked as long as you had like discovered the location or had done the skirmish intro, that sort of thing. And then the other days, so 2 days anybody could do, and 2 days were behind the epic storyline. So you had to have gone through the epic storyline up to that point and discovered those skirmishes in order to be able to then do them. So we had a handful of characters that could do all 4 days, and we had a handful that could only do 2 of the days. And so we were kind of like alternating it around, and Before did a fantastic job of keeping us organized on that, and being like, okay, we've done these 2, now we need to do these 2, now we need to do these 2, and taking us through. It was fantastic. So the upshot of that is that if you did all 12 days, you got a wrapper that was like, hey, do this for 12 days. So if you did that, then you got to have a token, and you could use that token to buy a portent. And the portent is like a boon. It is a good thing. And the cool thing about the portents is that at this level, which is not the cap of Lotro, which is currently 140, but the server, our cap is level 40 or 75, so we can't go any higher than 75, and that's fine. Like, we're totally down with that. But 140 is like the cap of Lotro. So for those portents, those are bound to characters. So if a character earns it, where is my Gorwyn? Maybe she got defeated. Where's my horn? Hey, where's my horn? Oh, here's my horn. Hang on, everything just froze up. Yeah, so Arthur says a portent and a gold tracery token. Man, my game just totally froze up there. Okay, let's try blow my horn. You cannot summon a new companion at this time. All right, can you type that out for me? Slash pet release?
Yeah, slash pet space release.
Oh, pet space release. I was gonna do it all one word. All right, now I can summon a new lady. Okay, thank you. You can dismiss your... When you have these helpers, sometimes they get caught on something and they're like 5 rooms back. And so you can't dismiss them because they still exist. But there you go. Thank you. Before I put it in there, you do /pet space release. And that releases your pet. You don't have to click on them. Because you could also do it through clicking on them. And then up at the top, I could right click. No, I can't. Apparently I can't. Oh, that's your... that's why. That's your Gorwyn. So my Gorwyn... There we go. I could go to the pet menu and I could dismiss her, like right here. But if I can't see her, I need that other one. Okay. Anyway, at our level, the portents are not bound to character. They're just bound to your account. So this character, I went and got the portent of vitality, maybe. And then with another character, after they did their 12 days, we got the portent of strength. Maybe it's the other way around. And then on another character, I got the portent of deftness. And then we had 3 other characters who got through it all. So we went ahead and pre-bought the next level, which is like way up there, like 115. So we're set once we get to 115. I have the obvious portent of deftness, strength, and vitality for when I get to level 115. Okay, let's go ahead and take this on while while our foods are still good. So let's go and talk to this apparition. To your horror, you have found Lilith, but her remains have been desecrated by the grey fear. Aww.
You are brave to have made it this far. But Sarch Vorn will not be a part of your story. It will be the end.
Alright. Huh. She has a dog. Let's do that out of the way.
Die! Die!
Oh, because the dog was inside. There was a statue of Lilith, and apparently the dog was in the statue too. So I could like put on my little portent of strength here, and then I can order.
Cannot flee death.
How long is it? 15 seconds. All right, freed of the control of the great fear, her remains return to dust. She says, "Freedom, finally." Aw, how sad. Okay, so let me talk to my Gorwyn. She says, "Alas for Lilith, I cannot say for certain, but I think she collapsed these tunnels herself, almost as if to trap the grey fear within Sarch Vorn. And poor Astron, the dog, so loyal was he that even then he did not abandon Lilith. From her wounds, I suspect that she was killed when the tunnels collapsed. That is my hope, at least, for it would be a preferable fate to any other she might have found in Sarch Vorn. Better than to be tormented by the grey fear until she died of starvation or met some other sorrowful end. But her remains do not appear to have decayed as any others would. And that knowledge brings many unpleasant thoughts to mind. Either Sarch Vorn was so well sealed when his tunnels collapsed that she was preserved, or the grey fear took hold of her remains in the same manner of those as Prince Amondir. So many were the horrors visited upon her family, it can scarcely be believed. We must put an end to the grey fear, my friend, once and for all." Okay. She says, "Defeat the grey fear in Sarch Vorn, the Black Grave." All right, well, shall we descend into the deepest chambers and search for Hithringor, the grey fear, it says. Let's do it. Funny thing is, we actually came in because we were like, let's check out these instances. I think we did this on stream even one time. But now we're here with the storyline, and it makes a little bit more sense. All right, so should we go say hi to Prince Amondir? Maybe I'll eat a honey cake real quick. All right, in the deepest depths, darkest depths, you discover Hithringor in the guise of Prince Amondir.
At last you arrive.
He's like, "At last you arrive. See you now the fate that awaits those who defy me." I'm guessing he's not trappable, but you know, I do what I can. Yeah, you can jump up on his throne and stuff, which is kind of fun.
But no longer.
All right. He says, "I forsake my master of old, he who abandoned me to the enemy. You who left me broken and without form. So in his kindness, the Witch King of Angmar has granted me his power." A doubt kindness. is the
For
motivation.
too long I
It
slumbered.
says, for too long I slumbered, all but
forgotten
forgotten by the men of Cardolan. In time they
In
will
time
all
they will
remember me,
all
and the tales of
remember
old
me.
shall strike
The
fear
tales
into
of
their
old
hearts.
shall strike fear into their hearts.
Can't remember what's the last thing he says
In the
before we can like
shadows of
start shooting him.
Angmar, a
In the
vast
shadows of
kingdom
Angmar,
of
a
the
vast
dead
kingdom of the dead shall flourish. Well, they kind of already got
And
foremost.
there
And he
I
wants to
will
sit in judgment,
in judgment
evermore.
evermore. The
Kingdom of the dead awaits
awaits you.
There we go. Oh, he's hitting my Gorwin. There we go, I got his attention. I may be a little stronger than him. I have moved up on that aggro table. Oh, and then he runs off because now we're gonna have. Oh, actually, we get these puffs of smoke that we have to take out. This essence of fear, and there's something about like if it gets to him, then something bad things happen. I forget what. I don't know if we've actually let them get to him. Maybe he gets his health back or something. Or he gets stronger. I don't know. Okay, back on him. Hey, Alan dear. Got a couple arrows.
Enough! You
Yeah,
shall
sure.
be mine.
That was it. Back to Hifrenberg. He's got dread on you.
Rise, my
My subjects.
I see darkness within you. The dead obey me.
He's going
I
to
will
feast
feast
upon my
upon your
fear.
fear.
I didn't engage with that white, and so he ran off to Gorwin.
What is this?
What is this?
No, my lord,
you cannot summon me.
No!
Oh, we defeated him. And he got summoned away. So, you know, stuff happened. Okay. She says, is it truly gone? Is it banished from Cardolan evermore? If the stories of old speak true, the Grey Fear may yet return with the passing of the years. Perhaps all we can do is to remain vigilant and pray that it never returns, neither in the guise of Prince Amandir nor any other. Nay, I must believe that it is gone. We have won this victory for Cardolan and for Melandir. As she speaks, a sound echoes through the halls of Sarch Vorn. Did you hear that? It sounds like it came from a chamber, the chamber where we discovered Lilith. I don't know about you, but I will not leave this place while the dead still roam its halls. Let's find out what made that sound. All right, but first there's a chest I want to say hello to. Gotta get the goodies. Oh, interesting. It says I got a bracelet of will. Nope, it's not better than what I have. All right, we're gonna go back and see what's the what. And let's see, oh, you got the bow. I got a curious broken grave gift. That's a pocket item. Hey, it's a goldberry. To your surprise and relief, goldberry has come. Hi.
What a joy it is.
This is
to
what a
see
joy
you
to
well,
see you
dear
well,
friend.
dear friend. You have triumphed over the Grey Fear, have you not? If you had not, I do not believe I would have found my
When you
way
and I
into this
spoke
old
of
burrow
Rena,
unhindered.
An old
Indeed,
memory
the
came
shadow
to my
upon this
mind.
place has lifted. Oh,
Long ago,
But
when
one matter
Rena
remains
came
unfinished.
to me seeking counsel against the Grey Fear.
and
She
then-
wore a brooch set with
Let's
blue
see.
stones.
When you and I
upon
spoke of
her
Lilith, an
breast.
old memory came to mind, she says. Long ago when she came
And
to me
this
seeking
very
counsel
day,
against the
by
Great
some
Fear, she wore a
curiosity
brooch
of
set with
fate,
blue stones on
my
her breast.
Tom brought
To this
me a
very
gift.
day, and this very day,
A
by some
brooch
curiosity of fate,
from
my Tom
Othrongoth,
brought me a gift, a brooch from
great
Orthrongoth,
barrow. I
the
could
Great Barrow.
scarcely
I
believe
could
it,
scarcely believe it, but it was no
no
other.
other.
How it found its way into the Great Barrow is
into
not
the
known
Great
to me.
Barrow
Perhaps
is not
she
known
sought
to me.
there some other
But
defense
perhaps
against the Great Fear.
Lilith sought
Grey
there
fear.
some
Keep calling it
other
great.
defense
just
against
grey.
the grey fear.
But for now,
But now
the grey
the
fear is
grey
no more.
fear is
Cast
no
back
more.
into the halls of the
Cast back to the
Ordainer.
halls of the Ordainer.
Oh,
And
Egg Arthur
so
says if the
I have
clouds
come
get to
return
him,
the
the
brooch
grey fear,
to
they
its
buff and
rightful
heal him. Thank you.
owner.
I knew it was going to be something like that, but I couldn't,
Rest well,
couldn't
dear
recall exactly.
Louis.
Aw, she says, rest well. She returns the brooch to its rightful owner. And she's off. Bye. Blue was always Tom's color, after all. No. Well, Gorwyn got to meet Goldberry. That's nice. Well, it says listen to Goldberry. So either she's going to come back or I have listened to her. Or the instance is bugged now. You know, could be anything. What do you have on yours? Wonder if she's still talking. She went away, we think. That's interesting. And our Gorwins are stuck behind us and have despawned. Oh, no, mine's still back there somewhere. Well, this would be a shame if it caused a problem. We have to start over or something. You think leave and try and come back? Alright. Oops, wrong way. I don't know, has anybody else run into this before? Where you need to listen to Goldberry, but she's gone. You know, you never can tell what these ancient folks want from you. They're kind of contradictory sometimes, you know. There's nothing to click on here. Aw. Let's see. Oh, you're leaving the instance? Okay. Let's see if I talk to my Gorwyn if anything happens. Nope. Alright, I will portrait exit and see what happens. We may have to run it again? I don't know. Yeah, it still says listen to Goldberry. Oh, now it's gone. It says listen to Goldberry and some other things. She can be found in Sarch Vorn. Now I'm kind of curious what these outfits look like, though. Oh, wow. These are different than what I've seen before. Huh. Not sure if I'm interested, but they are different and cute. They look kind of elfy. But, okay. Oops. Alright, I'm going to grab a summoning horn. Yeah, we probably have to go through and defeat everything again, don't we? Okay. Alright, let's try this again. Sarch Vorn, take 2. We're not stopping this building's fight. Is it still on? Yeah, it's always on. Okay. Well, the enemies are. That's okay. So yeah, so Casper's been sleeping in the closet a little bit more this week than he has been in a while. So my guess is after the cats were running around earlier, he got a little worn out and is back in. So nice little comfort spot. We've been giving him some like pain reliever stuff every day too. Luckily it's a liquid. You can just put it on some chicken and he'll eat it. So we're doing that like midday. Oops, your health is a little low. Yeah, so we just put some, it's like a pain reliever slash anti-inflammatory. Could be what? Yeah, basically like ibuprofen in liquid form. But yeah, that's true. Alright, back to defeating this guy. There's little mushrooms coming out of him, it looks like. You know, I have more appreciation for the bog lurkers now as creatures than I used to. Since we've got them as a... Hold on, don't leave. Oh, cooldown timer's not expired. Ha! There's locks. How funny. Because as a lore master, you can get one as a pet. As a... yeah. And then also because some of the cosmetic pets you can get are also those, and they're very cute. Like, I like the gourd lurker one. Do I have that on my... I don't have it on my bar right now. I should put that out. Hang on just a second. Alright, I had to get my gourd lurker out. Mine's Gordita. You've got the lantern one out? Nice. I like the pumpkin one better than the lantern one. Maybe it's just because it was the first one. Like, I like my little Gordita. Goodness, the plague bearer is just like gonna make you stand there and listen to me. Alright, making progress. Agarther asks, did you get the cosmetic bog lurker from Sarch Vorn with the skull pile on its back? It's a fairly rare drop though. No, I don't believe I have received that yet. It'd just be in your inventory, huh? Then no, I have not received that yet. Guess I gotta run Sarch Vorn more often. I do have a handful of the little lurkers though. Yeah. I did get the candle one that she's got. Oh, which one do you have up now? You have Bog Lurker Buddy. That's a different one. I love the gourd lurker. I think it's just too cute. Oh, you just brought the whole party. Why not? We've been hit by a blinding light. There's a skit that somebody did. I can't remember who it is, but where it's like, basically you've got 3 magic users. It's like live, you know, it's like D&D or MMO. It's like MMOs, like little skits about being in MMOs, and it's like 3 magic users and 1 melee guy. And he's like, the melee guy's like, all right, let's work this out, make sure we know what we're gonna do. And they're like, what? Why do we need to work this out? We already know what we're gonna do. And he's like, yeah, but last time you guys used all these, you know, spells and threw all this light around and I couldn't see what I was doing, and you know, we talked about this, you're not gonna do that, right? I'm like, yeah, of course not. And then he's like, okay, cool, so we got this all sorted. And, Viva la Dirt League. Annoying bright spells in dreams. Magic. So they're like, you know, magic. And they're very over the top about it, and it's hilarious. And then, yeah, they go to, the melee guy goes to run up, and he starts hitting things, and they're all like, light spell, light spell, light spell. And one of them is like, blinding light. And they're like, ah, this guy can't see. He's like, ah.
At last you arrive. See you now, the face
So we do that a lot. Blinding light. Needless to say, the melee guy was
Once I
not
served the
amused.
Ordainer, but no longer.
Yes, Viva La Dirt League.
I forsake my master.
Thank you.
He who abandoned
Oh,
me
and,
to the enemy. He who left me broken and
For
without
a second, I thought he
form.
said left me with a broken arm. I'm like, ow.
In his kindness, the Witch King of Ung.
So we've been
has
watching some of those.
granted me
What
his
about 40?
power.
Oh, okay. Apparently, I haven't seen them all yet.
I slumbered, all
Oh, have you?
but
Okay.
forgotten by the men of Cardolan.
And the one about like going to rescue the children, and the dude's like, I rescued 4 children. You sent me to go rescue. He's like, I sent you to rescue at least 4 children.
Shadows of
It's
our
like-
yeah.
What about the rest of the children? You said at least 4 children. I brought 4 children. Where's my reward?
The kingdom
Yeah,
of the dead awaits.
Very silly stuff. But yeah, we do enjoy it. Burn hot. Shoot hard. Yeah. Bam. Just take out like a quarter of his health. Thank you very much. Oh, we've got a double box there. Oh, like not really. Yes, we still have landscape difficulty. So because we're playing on Treebeard, we have landscape difficulty. So things are hitting us from above. It's funny. There's people who still complain about how they feel like the fire coming down on you is like lore breaking, but I don't know, because like we still have the keg masters that are the dower hands, and they throw these kegs of fire that sits there, and then like it lands where you are, like there's an area of it, and if you're still there when it goes off, like this huge fire effect happens. So
Enough.
it's the same thing.
You shall be mine.
It looks the same to me. Alright, well we're not letting the little clouds get to him and buff him, so we're doing good. Rise, rise, from the creatures. Fall, fall, we say. Rise, shall fall. Man, they're just like dropping all sorts of stuff on us.
The dead obey me.
I'm going to feast upon my fear.
Upon your fear.
You will not. I think you will feast upon my arrows. Nom nom nom.
What is this?
It's a good diet.
No, my lord. You
You get plenty of
cannot
iron.
summon me. No!
Okay. We defeated him again. I assume we can't open the box. Correct. Oh yeah, and like Arthur mentions, yeah, the goblin sappers also throw fire. So fire being thrown at you is not something that's like, this isn't a brand new thing, right? Like things get thrown at you. Yeah, we've got the hunters as oh, hang on. All right, let's see what happens here. So, okay, so I'm gonna click on Goldberry.
What a joy
And
it is
she says,
to
joy to
see
see you.
well,
And I'm
dear
going to
friend.
hit continue quest.
When you and
And then
I
she's
spoke
talking
of
to us
Reloth,
about how she found the
an
brooch.
old
Or the
memory
brooch and all that
came
stuff.
to
Okay.
my mind.
Okay, let's see.
Long ago, when Reloth came to me seeking
Arthur says,
counsel
yeah,
against
the
grey
goblin sappers throw
fear,
fire too.
she wore a brooch set
Aaron Bard in the chat
with
says, as a
blue
hunter, one can
stones
shoot
upon her
sappers
breast.
until they drop their oil on themselves, which is
And
hilarious.
this very
I'd love to
day,
do that.
by some curiosity,
Cracks me up.
my Tom brought
I don't
me
know if
a
it
gift,
actually hurts them,
a brooch,
but it doesn't
from
hurt me.
Othrongroth,
And
the
so
great
I find
bearer.
that fun.
I could scarcely believe it, but it was no other. How it found its way into the Great Barrow is not known to me.
So, yeah.
But perhaps Louis sought there some other defense against the Grey Fear. But now the Grey Fear is no more.
Oh, we are short.
Cast back
Hi.
to the halls of the Ordainer.
Oh, but she's holding the
And
brooch.
So I have
Aww.
come to return
nice.
the brooch
I wouldn't
to
have
its
noticed that if I hadn't
rightful
zoomed in.
owner. Rest well.
And she
dear
gives it to her.
Louis.
Sorry, I'm sitting on the dead body, She says rest well. Maybe I'll just follow Goldberry, just in case, you know, she has something else to say. I mean, I waved goodbye to her last
Blue
time,
is
but
always
maybe that
Tom's
wasn't good
color
enough.
after all.
I say if this bugs out again, we'll probably move on and come back to this later. Maybe submit a ticket. Oh, there we are. That went well. Dr. Gorwin.
It is over, my friend. Mimenelda
Rings
and
popped
so
up on
many
both of our
others
Gorwins,
at
though.
last
So
find
that's
peace.
nice. We'll try clicking on your Gorwin and see what happens.
Okay, I need to listen to Goldberry.
Okay. Well, all right, we'll do this one at a time. So I got, it is over, my friend. May Meneldir and so many others at last find peace. Is that the river daughter of whom you spoke? Even in so dark a place, I feel a lightness upon my heart in her presence. But truth be told, I do not wish to remain here any longer than we must. The Grey Fear is no more, but that does not erase the hurts he brought upon us or any of the peoples of Cardolan. I trust Rangir will wish to hear of this. I will escort you to Herne, but I'm afraid our paths must diverge after we arrive. I am a Dunedain after all, and my duty is to my kin. Far too many troubles have come to Cardolan of late, and it shall be our task to set them right. Nevertheless, I can't thank you enough for what you have done for us and for Meneldir. So, and it says, you will exit Sarch Vorn and the Black Grave and swiftly travel to Herne when you advance this quest. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and continue my quest. So it's the weather has turned a little bit. I must be a front coming through. I got a little cooler today, and it's supposed to be cool for the next few days. And we got precipitation, which was raining earlier, and then it turned to snow for a couple minutes, but by the time it hits the ground, it melted. And then just now, I'm like, we can hear it. It's like, so, I don't know what's going on out there. Chaos, I say. All right, I've been sent to Herne. I gotta talk to Rangir. Yeah, to go get ready. Yeah. Let's see. I gotta defeat half-orcs. Talk to Candace. We're not gonna do that yet. Well, I'm gonna go talk to Rangar, I think. So I'll pop over there and then, but P4 can catch up. Wait, Rangar is in, wait, where is she? Oh, she's at the inn in Herne. Oh, well, hello, we're here. I can just go over and talk to her now. That's right, because she was going to come back and stir the stew that she was making for her father. See, I was saying the other day that, so we were here at this Crossway house, right? And Cadwallon, the mayor of Herne, who's all laid up here, we came in here to talk to Wenna and Kai and stuff, and he's got a friend, Ossian here, who I don't trust. I think this guy is no good. And then she ran off, this is the daughter, and she ran off to go, you know, deal with the Sarch Vorn thing and all that, right? And so I'm like, I feel like we have storyline incomplete here. Like, I feel like we still got to deal with, you know, Shifty Eyes over there, Mr. taking advantage of situations and putting a wedge between the father and other people. So I don't know if there's more to do here. This may be the end of the line, but I'm glad they brought us back here anyways. Okay, so we have the doom of Sarch Vorn.
The Grey Fear is no more.
She says, you return. Glad am I to see you, my friend. You tell her of your deeds. The tale you bring chills me to my very bones. I knew things were dire, but never did I imagine such a creature with so much history. You not only saved my homeland, but you also found justice for Lilith and her family. May this unholy cycle of grief be ended. Well, sure. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to get 2,000 virtue out of this. And then do I want any of these as a cosmetic? That one's kind of cool. Does it die? Let's find out. Oh, interesting. That's where it dies. Huh. Unexpected. I think as cool as these are, I just don't see me wearing them. I think that's the truth of it. So I think I'm going to take the virtue experience if I can choose it. Can I choose it? I want to choose it. Oh, I can't choose it. Maybe it just gives it to me? I don't know. All right, we'll pick that one. And let me look at my virtues real quick. So it's going to hit that one. Why don't I put it on? See, he's done. He's done. Let's put it on fortitude, because that'll bump it up a bit, I would think. Like, yeah, she got a whole level out of that. Very nice. All right, and she says, what have you got there? Oh, where did you tell her of the skeleton you found near Sarch Vorn. But she says, this was my mother's necklace. She's silent for a time, her hand closing around the tarnished necklace. Then she looks up at you with a sad smile. She says, thank you. I suppose knowing what happened means that I can close the door to my heart that I left open, hoping she would one day return. I think I always knew, though, that she would not. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah.
What you have found
she said, what you found at Sarch Vorn brought me no joy, but it did provide some peace. Please tell my father what you found there as well. He deserves to know that she did not abandon us on purpose. Father's sitting by the door, also called the fireplace. She says, he apparently helped himself to the stew while we were gone, as there is none left. And she chuckles softly, shaking her head. All right, well, let's tell him what happened. Hey, so...
You again, eh? What
he says, you again? What mischief have you and my daughter been up to? You tell him of Sarch Vorn and Lilith and the Grey Fear. Then you tell him of the weathered skeleton, and he's silent for a very long time. Her necklace. So she did not leave us, after all. It was an accident. He sighs deeply. You and Reingeir did all of that, and you helped cook my favorite stew as well. I'm afraid I have been unkind to you. For many years, anger has been the only thing I have known, but today you brought me hope. You and Reingeir have shown that history is important, but that dwelling on the past is not what is needed. Using what we learned from our history here in the present is what is important. That and the people we have. Lilith lost her life to avenge her family and keep Cardolan safe, as did my wife. You and my daughter followed in their footsteps and yet surpassed what they were able to do. Reingeir was never chasing some silly dream, nor was her mother. They both knew there was a danger, and they took action to meet it. I am sorry and grateful. You will always be welcome here in Herne and in our home. I thank you. Aww, that's nice. Okay, so let's see. Of what we have, let me check on that stew. All right, I guess that's yeah, gives you the all right, so I think we still need to defeat some half-orcs here in Cardolan. Oh, and goblins. We haven't finished the goblins. Oh, that's Delvings. And that would complete Slayer of Cardolan. Just wondering if I should go hunting goblins and half-orcs. Oh, but there's explorers that we haven't done. What? All right, let's take a look at that. Let's see, we've got explorers. Oh, we've got perils of Cardolan. There's still one more place we haven't found. Okay, that's worth looking into. Oh, we haven't found all the treasure caches. Okay, the ravaging. Let's see, discover 2 more places. Wow, we have a bunch of stuff we haven't done in here. Okay. So I think, well, actually, here's what I think. Let me look at my character stuff. So let me edit this real quick, because Ill Omens is already gone and the Curator is already gone, so we don't need to have that there anymore. And Shadowfax went up to level 130. Crazy Cakes. Minas Morgul, War of the Three Peaks, and Blood of Azog, they went up. So crazy. And then, okay, so Spring Festival is coming. So Spring Festival starts next week. It starts on Thursday. So next week on my show, we'll be going over Spring Festival, and we'll do that for like 3 weeks in a row. So that'll be awesome. And then let's see, Hobnanigans probably will be over by the time of my stream. So it's usually like a Thursday or like a Thursday through Monday kind of thing. So it's usually not on Tuesdays. And and then the anniversary event is in April. So I am guessing we will probably try to knock out some of these Cardolan deeds outside of the stream. It's possible we'll do it on stream, but since it's just a bit of exploring, we may or may not do that on stream. I mean, I don't know how exciting that is, you know, like thrill a minute as we ride across the sweeping landscapes of Cardolan. I mean, that's kind of nice, you know. It'd be kind of like doing scenarios thing where he takes you into these various areas, but with less lore that I have. I'd be like, look, it's a red flower. Isn't that pretty? You know, appreciation from the user side. So that's nice. Anyway, so we'll do Spring Festival for the next 3 weeks, and then we'll see where we're at. Also, that reminds me that I have an anniversary, a Lotro streaming anniversary coming up. Hang on, let me pull up my calendar, see if I can remember where that is. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, right. There it is. Okay, so March 18th is the anniversary of when I started streaming on this channel. I started in 2021, so this will be my 2-year anniversary. So I think, I'm hoping to have some stuff to give away. I'm hoping to have some giveaways for the Tuesday before, which will be the 14th, which is next week, and the Tuesday after, which is the 21st. So hoping. If not, it'll just be probably the 21st if I don't have anything for the 14th, but we'll see what we can do. I've put in a request, so we'll see how we get. Okay, so oh, Aaron Barnes says congratulations, thank you. Oh, and the question is, when does Scenario stream? He doesn't have a set day of the month, but he generally streams once a month, and it's usually on a Wednesday. So keep an eye out on the Twitter, because it's usually posted there, and also Cord will mention it in his streams, but he usually mentions it on like the Friday right before that week's Wednesday. So you don't have, like, you have less than a week of notice when he mentions it on his stream. So keep an eye out, but that'd be where to keep an eye keep an eye out for that. And if you miss it, they do put the videos, they're on here on the Twitch channel, and then they're also, I think they cross-post them onto the YouTube as well. Oh, one last little thing. For those of you who are crafting curious, I've started knitting, and I wanted to knit a larger project and get more practice, so I'm starting a sweater. And so here's how it's going so far. And it's a variegated yarn, so it's changing its colors. It's a color changing yarn, so it changes along the way. So I don't have to change colors to make it do this, but it's doing basically a striping effect. Let me stretch that out so you can see a little bit better. So this is, and it's just knit, 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 knit. Like, I'm not doing anything fancy yet. I don't plan to. I'm following a pattern, which is basically knit forever until it's big enough, and then you stop. So that's what I'll probably do. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, well, what if I start doing colors that like draw patterns and stuff? I'm like, maybe that should be the next sweater. So yes, so there we go. And hopefully every so often I'll show you progress on that. So that's very exciting. It's coming along well. Like all the stitches are the same size pretty much. And I've only made one mistake so far that I know of. So that's not bad. And I couldn't figure out how to fix it, but it's not an unraveling mistake, so we're good. It's just something got turned around somehow. I picked up something extra. I don't know. Things happened. Yeah, things happen at sea. So, all right. Well, I think that is about it for me for the day. So if you have anything else you want to talk about, throw it into the chat real quick. B4 will be coming on momentarily after me. There might be like a 5-minute break in between. So then he'll be coming on and doing plugin talk about all sorts of, he can talk about plugins, and he will be working on a plugin that he's doing some programming in Lua. He can explain what that is, and he's working on the deed tracker, right? Oh, and we might do a quick Sarch Vorn to try and fix, yeah, his his quest thing there too. So, Aaron Bart says, thank you for the stream, cheered me up today. Well, I'm glad that we were able to bring a little bit of light and sunshine into your life. Yeah, that is always a goal of mine, is to make people's lives easier in some fashion, whatever it is I can do. So I'm glad to hear that some of it has headed your way. So excellent. All right. Well, then I will be taking a short break while we wait for Affodil, or I should say before as Affodil. And I'll see you all next week on my stream. And hopefully we'll have some giveaways, and we'll definitely be doing the Spring Festival. So very excited about that. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic week. And as always, stay connected to that Hobbit side of your heart. Take care of each other, all right? All right. Bye-bye.